I've got a present for you.
Structure sold.
Real tough guy.
Yes, agreed. Affirmative. Awaiting orders. Yes, affirmative. Awaiting orders. Acknowledged. At once.
Training. Unit ready. Training.
Reporting.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready. Training. Unit ready.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Building.
Affirmative.
Training.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Agreed. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Vehicle report. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Reporting.
Unit
Reporting.
ready.
Report.
Building.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Reporting.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Comrade. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit ready. Building.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Awaiting orders.
Unit
Acknowledged.
ready. Building.
Waiting order. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir.
Yeah?
Yes, sir. Agreed. Affirmative.
Yeah? Okay.
Engineering.
Unit
Affirmative. Report.
Building.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Reporting. Affirmative. Reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit
Acknowledged.
ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Ready and waiting. Affirmative.
Structure sold. Structure sold. Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Comrade. Acknowledged. Waiting order. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Waiting order.
Unit
Acknowledged.
ready. Building.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Comrade. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit
Yes,
ready.
sir. Affirmative.
Building.
Report. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Comrade. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Comrade. Affirmative.
Vehicle reporting. Affirmative.
Unit
Yes, sir.
ready.
Acknowledged.
Building.
Reporting. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Structure
Report.
sold.
Affirmative. Yes,
Unit
acknowledged.
ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Reporting. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Building.
Reporting. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Building. Repairing.
Comrade.
Unit ready. Building.
Affirmative.
Unit repaired.
Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Unit ready. Building.
Waiting. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Vehicle reporting.
Building.
Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready. Building.
Comrade. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready.
Affirmative. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Waiting order. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit
Yes, sir.
ready. Building.
I've got a present
Acknowledged.
for you.
Affirmative.
Base
Affirmative.
is under attack.
Affirmative. Comrade. Acknowledged.
Unit ready. Building.
Awaiting
Acknowledged.
orders.
Repairing.
Acknowledged. Vehicle report.
Unit
Acknowledged.
repaired.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Ready and wait.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Engineering. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Awaiting orders. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Building.
Acknowledged. Vehicle reporting. Affirmative. Awaiting orders. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Unit
Acknowledged.
ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Awaiting orders.
Unit ready. Building.
Vehicle acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Unit ready.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Building. Training.
Reporting.
Unit
Acknowledged.
ready.
Acknowledged.
Training. Unit ready. Training.
Waiting order.
Unit
Yes, sir.
ready.
Acknowledged.
Yes, sir.
Unit
Acknowledged.
ready.
Yes, sir.
Our base is under attack. Training. Unit ready.
Reporting. Affirmative.
Building.
Affirmative.
Preparing.
Reporting.
Unit
Yes, sir.
ready. Building. Unit repaired.
Comrade. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Reporting. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready.
Affirmative.
Building.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Our base
Waiting
is under
order.
attack. Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Building.
Comrade. Affirmative. Affirmative. Comrade. Acknowledged. Waiting order.
Unit ready. Building. Silos
Affirmative.
needed.
Acknowledged.
Training.
Acknowledged.
Unit lost.
Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Training.
Vehicle
Unit
reformative.
ready. Unit ready.
Comrade.
Training.
Affirmative.
Building.
Reporting
Unit
at once.
ready. Training.
Affirmative. At once. Very well.
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Awaiting orders.
Building.
At once. Affirmative. At once.
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged.
Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Reporting. Affirmative.
Unit ready. Building.
Reporting.
Yes, sir.
Our
Acknowledged.
base is under attack. Unit ready.
Yes, sir.
Building. Unit lost.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir.
Unit ready. Building.
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Awaiting orders. Acknowledged.
Reporting. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Affirmative. Affirmative.
Our base is under
Acknowledged.
attack.
Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Building.
Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Affirmative.
Awaiting orders. Affirmative.
Comrade. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready.
Acknowledged.
Yes, sir.
Building.
Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Reporting. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Reporting. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Lost.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready.
Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Lost.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Reporting.
Acknowledged.
Lost.
Affirmative.
Reporting. Acknowledged.
Base is under
Yes,
attack.
sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit
Affirmative.
lost.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged.
Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Waiting order.
Unit lost.
Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit
Vehicle
lost.
acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Waiting for acknowledged.
Waiting order.
Unit ready.
Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Waiting order. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
ready.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit
Yes, sir.
lost.
Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Ready and
Affirmative.
waiting.
Unit lost.
Acknowledged.
Waiting order.
Acknowledged.
Unit
Reporting.
lost.
Very well.
Unit ready. Building.
Agreed. Agreed. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Yes, sir. Vehicle acknowledged. Yes, sir.
Unit ready.
Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Ready.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Our base is under
Reporting.
attack. Unit ready.
Waiting
Acknowledged.
Yes, sir.
Waiting order. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Reporting.
Building.
Affirmative.
Waiting order. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Comrade. Waiting order. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Yes, acknowledged.
Unit
Acknowledged.
lost.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Insufficient
Affirmative.
funds. Structure sold. Unit ready. Building.
Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged.
Structure sold.
Awaiting
Very well.
orders. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit ready. Building. Structure sold.
Vehicle reporting. Reporting. At once.
Yes, sir.
Report affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir.
Comrade.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Vehicle reporting. Vehicle acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Awaiting orders. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Acknowledged. Reporting.
Unit lost. Unit
Reporting
lost.
once. Very well. At once.
Waiting order. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Vehicle reporting. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Insufficient
Waiting orders.
funds.
Affirmative.
Comrade. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Ready and waiting.
Waiting
Yes, sir.
order.
Awaiting orders. At once. Yes, sir. Report. Yes, sir. Vehicle reporting. Yes, sir. Agreed. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Vehicle report. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Reporting. Affirmative. Awaiting orders. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Reporting. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Vehicle reporting.
Waiting
Yes, sir.
order.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Reporting. Vehicle reporting. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit lost.
Affirmative. Affirmative.
Insufficient
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Report. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged. Awaiting. Acknowledged. Awaiting. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Reporting.
unit lost.
Affirmative. 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 Sir. Acknowledged. Awaiting orders.
Unit lost.
Awaiting orders. Affirmative. Vehicle report. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Reporting. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Reporting. Yes, sir. Reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Reporting. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Unit
Vehicle
lost.
reporting. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Vehicle reporting. Awaiting orders. Vehicle report. Acknowledged. Awaiting orders. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Awaiting orders. Acknowledged.
Insufficient funds.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Awaiting orders. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Vehicle report. Acknowledged. Awaiting orders. Acknowledged. Awaiting orders.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Reporting. Acknowledged.
Awaiting orders. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Waiting. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Insufficient
Yes, sir.
funds.
Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Comrade. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Objective met.
Acknowledged.
Comrade. Affirmative. Waiting order. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. At once. Affirmative. Very well.
Structure sold. Structure sold.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Affirmative. Waiting. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
On hold. Cancel.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Awaiting orders. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Vehicle reporting. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Report. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Reporting. Report. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Vehicle acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Awaiting orders. Acknowledged. Report. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Awaiting orders.
Comrade. Affirmative.
Vehicle acknowledged.
Comrade. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Waiting order. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Comrade, affirmative. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Vehicle reporting.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. 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 Reporting. Acknowledged.
Awaiting orders. Affirmative.
Reporting. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Report. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Mission accomplished.